DNVR Draft Pod. Happy Thursday to you all. Thursday night football upon us. A little battle of
a barn burner.
I mean, it's the team that traded out of the pick to draft Bryce Young against Bryce Young himself. What a game. Joined by my guy, the Schwan man himself.
Thank you, Dre.
Before a Buffs game on Saturday, that should be quite intriguing against potentially the hottest team in the entire country.
Some are saying that.
Those Arizona Wildcats, man. Whew. What a team. What a weekend we just came off of. You saw some top prospects on Oregon State. Boy, that O-line's something.
O-line, the D-line wasn't bad. I mean, Damian Martinez is a beast at running back. We didn't even see them really use their speed on the outside in that game. That's how
I know.
Devastating it was.
That number 7 only touched it a couple times. He's unbelievable.
Gould?
Yeah.
Or Bolden. Both of them.
Yeah,
Both of them are crazy.
So good. And then it was a great weekend across the board. I mean, we had a LSU Bama was awesome.
We were robbed of a fantastic finish in that game with Jaden Daniels' injury.
Yeah, it sucks. How do you feel about that Dallas Turner hit?
Aim lower.
Yeah, he chin strapped him a little bit.
Yeah.
He chin strapped him a little bit. And then, man, I mean, USC Washington was insane.
Just fireworks.
It
was like watching a Madden game.
Yeah, it really was. So let's start there. Let's start here with some greater overarching, but we will still start from the Heisman battle. Lots of murmurs, more and more rankings coming out where Caleb Williams not necessarily QB1 for the rankings. Drake Maye getting a little buzz. Marvin Harrison, he's picking things up. And man, I've seen some nice Joel praise lately, and I wonder if Olu Fashanu no longer in the race to be offensive tackle 1 in this stellar class. Drake Maye, Caleb, the race for QB1. How are you seeing it?
I almost
a Pac-12 loyalist like yourself.
Well, I'm not going to switch it up here. I think we're thinking a little too hard about this, and we're running into the reigning Heisman Trophy winner fatigue.
So much fatigue, man.
People are just literally trying to poke flaws in his game.
There's so much fatigue. We're mostly talking about him crying. I feel like people aren't totally watching the games.
That was ridiculous.
And what's more hilarious is I kind of feel like this is where we ended up with CJ Stroud, where it was like, oh, he's the Ohio State guy who can't even beat Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He has that insane game against Georgia. Just unbelievable. Doing exactly what we've seen in the NFL thus far. And still we are like, I don't know.
Well, that was the conversation we had about CJ Stroud was, are we getting the guy who plays against Michigan and doesn't really look to show up in big moments, or are we getting the guy who went and just absolutely crushed Georgia in every sense of the game?
Right.
His legs, his arm, everything.
I know. It was so complete. And I think we're kind of doing that again a little bit. Now, I like Drake Maye a lot. I think he is arguably the cleaner prospect. But cleaner is not how this game is played.
Exactly.
This is upside. It's all this has ever been. And he just, without a doubt, has the higher upside. Yeah. It's just the concerns you have are more concerning, if you will. Everything Caleb does mostly is off script.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so talented, he's kind of gotten into some bad habits.
Yeah.
At the same time, off script, he's unbelievable. Athletically, the way he scrambles, the way he's able to juke players, defenders, even though he's maybe, he's not like Jaden Daniels level athlete.
Right.
And then that arm.
I know.
That
pops out of
arm's
there.
just absurd.
He's just, I don't know, man. He is literally a unicorn. The plays that he makes, how just, it looks like he's moving at a different pace than everyone else. And it looks like he's got like the hacks to the game or something, the way he moves around. He just finds open space constantly, whether it's with his legs, finding receivers downfield after the play's broken down. He just always finds the open man or always makes the right call when to pull it and run.
Yeah, and he's a big-time player to me. I mean, even those 2 Utah losses, one of those he wins the Heisman on with 5 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame, big game he had last season. I think he's played well in all these big games this year, aside from their one stinker.
Well, I mean, they fired Grinch for a reason.
Yeah, right. And I mean, again, the offense hasn't really been the problem. So I think we're getting a smidge too caught up in narratives. That said, Caleb is going to need Drake May, even Shedeur Sanders. There's some of those rare prospects who you actually could say, like, yeah, we could basically plug them into our NFL system.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make some tweaks. We're going to try to make life easier for them as rookies, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I need to change my whole offense.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson prospects like that. No, I probably do want to change a lot of my offense. I do want to change most of what I'm doing. Kind of philosophically, how I attack. My plan of attack does need to be changed. Caleb fits that more. I mean, you're going to have to adapt your offense to him somewhat.
I mean, he's just that special that you kind of just take whatever he's good at, and that just becomes your offense, really, at that point. And then you try and, build around that, try and get, I guess, more pro style, if you will. But I don't know. The guy just has a plus arm, plus legs, plus athleticism, plus playmaking.
Yeah. Plus in a lot of those categories.
Yes. Like, that's saying it like lightly.
Right. 100%. And then Fashanu, Penn State's going to have a big matchup against Ohio State, obviously. No, sorry, Michigan. I hope Chop Robinson's healthy for that game. That would be fun, and it'll be fun seeing Michigan's D-line going against Fashanu. Joe Alt coming off a game against Clemson. He's looked really good. We've sang praise about Joe Alt.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously kind of longer, taller offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Fashanu's been so clean. He is a bit more of a wide-hipped, I don't know, like plotter to some extent.
Right.
And if there's one knock on Olu's game, it's that he's not this plus athlete to where like getting on an angle block over here, not always going to be athletic enough to get all the way there and beat his defender.
I mean, that's who Joe Alt is, though.
And angle them off. Joe Alt,
he's
on
an
the
athlete.
other hand, that is what he is, to a T. And he is that kind of athlete on a 6'8" frame.
Yep. Just a big human being.
Yeah.
Was recruited as a tight end, playing tackle now. So,
and again, if we're talking upside,
those are the guys.
I could
those
see
are the guys.
How you start to buy into that upside more specifically. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Heisman race. Where are we at, man?
Right.
Has Penix kind of closed this down, or
man,
is there more to it?
What Jaden Daniels did on Saturday,
impressive.
He's got to be on the short list now.
He looked like Michael Vick on some of those scrambles. Like the athleticism was insane. Yeah, absolutely. And then made some of the most beautiful throws we have seen all season long. Jaden Daniels.
Yep. He's Brian Kelly's a great coach, a great football coach.
Great offensive coach.
Look at what he's done with Jaden Daniels. If you remember what Jaden Daniels was at ASU, he was nowhere close to this type of player.
Tell him, brother.
So Brian Kelly has really coached up Jaden Daniels. He's really highlighted what he's good at. He's allowed him to be himself too. Like, he can run around freely and make plays. He's not being confined to a structure. He's got playmakers on the outside.
Right.
The back is, I can't remember his name, but that guy looked like Clyde Edwards-Helaire out there, just how he was shaking people off. So
yeah. And Malik Neighbors was just making insane plays. So you think Daniel's still in it, even though that LSU loss to Bama probably takes him out of both the SEC title race and the Natty race?
I mean, yeah, when you put it that way, and this is how it comes to the Heisman. it just is pretty matter of fact, cut and dry. But we really were robbed of a potential maybe Heisman moment for him.
I mean, first half, I saw several Heisman moments that were starting to build up.
Yes. So
let's continue this combo on the other side. I want to shout out Game Time, where right now you can sign up using that code DNVR. For new users who sign up, you're going to get $20 off. It is an incredible deal. Game Time, of course, easy to use app, great prices. There's the Game Time guarantee. That is, they'll get you the lowest prices out there. Text their customer service. They'll get you taken care of if you see a better price on the market, and they'll make it right there. They're great. And then they specialize in last minute tickets. Broncos. I know you've gone to some Broncos games.
Went to the Nuggets game last night.
Did you? How was that?
Shout out Game Time. It was fun. It was my first Nuggets game, actually.
How cool.
Yeah.
You saw a great one.
Yeah.
Steph against Yoke.
I know. I was telling, I said it on the Buff show today, but I'm beginning to be like Kale when he watches Jokic now and he just laughs at the shit he does. That's where I'm at. Where it's
so
you just
great.
laugh.
Dude, that's incredible. I mean, look at Game Time right there. Historic game, last minute tickets, taking care of our guy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download their app, create an account, and use our code DNVR, exclusive for you, $20 off on your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with our code DNVR to get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
And then shout out to Foco, everyone's favorite manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise. They've got all the cool stuff. You can go to other places and get your regular team gear, but if you want the cool team gear, the bobbleheads, all the novelty items,
the Christmas ornaments,
there you go.
The Broncos, Snoopy and Charlie Brown bobbleheads. You're going on a beach vacay. You need a little floral shirt
or straw hat.
Might need a swimsuit. You might need some slips
or some
overalls.
What
we call them? Slips?
Slide.
That's like my wife can't remember Coach Prime, what Prime is. So a lot of times she's guessing Coach Flash. That's like me with
that's
slips.
not far off, though.
Yeah.
She's not far
It's
off.
funny. Then my father-in-law came to town. He was doing the same thing.
That's hilarious.
Oh God, you guys are hilarious. Foco, though, they're awesome.
Always have our back for Colorado sports, and they have yours too. Get the best gear around using the link in our description. For all non-presale items, use the promo code DNVR, and you will get 10% off.
Yeah, so Daniels, I'm with you, man. First off, the improvements he's made are crazy. Like, as a quarterback, just...
Yeah.
Would you, gun to your head, would you take him or Penix in the first round if you're the Broncos?
I mean, I got to take my guy Penix still.
Yeah.
But Jaden is making a case.
Jaden might have some more translatable tools. Penix, I worry, is a little too first read focused, and the injuries.
Yeah, that's true.
But, he's a little too like Geno Smithy, where it's like, shit. The first read's there, you're going to make an insane throw. If it's not, where Jaden was just like, man, that was some special stuff. And when you do it against Bama, you remember that stuff.
Of course.
And it's going to stick with us a lot more as draft analysts than it will as Heisman voters.
I mean,
not that we are Heisman voters.
Right, but there's just certain matchups that always stick out more. I mean, you think of this game, you think of the Tua Burrow game, like
right.
So, yeah, we were robbed of what could have been a special moment for him. JJ's still in it too, I think.
JJ is very much still in it. JJ McCarthy and Michigan, basically their entire season ahead of them.
Yep.
Lots of people think Bo Nix and Oregon will be in that Pac-12 title game and will beat Washington.
No.
And that Bo should be the favorite.
No. We can't do this.
I think Oregon State gets them before they even get there, Jake.
I said that before the season.
Yes.
I said that before the season.
We know ball. So JJ very much in it. Marvin Harrison, so tough, but he is putting up the performances. He could do it, right? Like big games against Michigan, and all of a sudden you're in it.
Yeah, and he really is their offense. McCord is not.
No,
it's a far drop off from him.
He's bad.
To CJ Stroud and Justin Fields.
Oh, no kidding.
But I mean, the guy just makes plays. He only had 4 receptions for 25 yards, but had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he dominates. He's just so good, ball in his hand. Now, you said JJ McCarthy. I have talked about how Blake Corum with big games, Heisman moments, in those big matchups against Penn State, against Ohio State, in the Big Ten championship. Of course, if they, run the gauntlet and feel good about it.
I just don't think he has the stats this year. He
I
does have
know,
16
but with
touchdowns.
the Heisman moment, low key, Ollie Gordon, the Oklahoma State running back,
Oh, yeah?
gaining some momentum.
Wow.
They are in the driver's seat to
They
be
really are.
in the Big 12 championship. He could be there. And look, Jordan Travis, Carson Beck, Florida State, Georgia's quarterbacks could be in it. Honestly, who I think we're overlooking, though, is Milroe.
Man, he looked so good.
Broke a record for rushing touchdowns for Bama.
That play where they're they're in the red zone or near the red zone, and he's like rolling to his left, and he goes to like look left and fakes the throw, and then just takes off. Like that acceleration is crazy.
Heisman moments up the gazoo. And if he does Georgia, if he takes care of Georgia,
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he might be my dark horse, man. What else stood out to you, though? Or final Heisman prediction, though. Who you going with?
think
You
I'm
don't
taking
go Final Four prediction as well?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll take Penix for the Heisman right now, though.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, I'll just go
You think-
chalk.
I'm assuming you think they're in the playoffs then.
I do.
Okay.
Where are they at now? 9? Are they at 10 wins yet? They're only at 9.
9, I believe.
Season win total was over 9.5. I hit that bet before
Look at
season
that.
started too.
Look at you.
We need it. Almost there.
Penix, and who's in the Final Four? Because I think I'm saying JJ McCarthy, but my second pick would be Milroe.
So I'll put Jaden Daniels Jaden Daniels in there still. JJ.
Oh, you're
And then-
giving me your Heisman finalists. I want to know your
playoff top four
teams.
Georgia, Michigan, Washington. I guess Florida State, just based off of SEC kind of cannibalization.
Yeah. I like it. I've
Or you
got
could switch Georgia with Alabama, I guess.
Michigan, Bama, FSU, Ohio State.
Wow.
Yeah. I think the Pac-12 does the most Pac-12 thing ever.
In their final
And-
year.
And Washington loses to like Arizona and Utah. Oregon loses to Oregon State, and there isn't a clean one-loss team to represent the Pac-12 and make it in.
It'd be so typical of
And
them.
thus, Ohio State, who their one loss came to Michigan
Mhm.
and didn't even play in the Big Ten championship, gets in. And this presumes, I think Georgia's going to lose one in the regular season before they face Bama. Because if they go into that game undefeated, we're probably getting the loser of that game in there as well. No,
Yep.
Georgia is the loser,
Right. Yeah,
Actually, Bama's playing with fire because they've already lost to Texas.
exactly.
Texas could be one of those teams
Mhm.
waiting to get in. So
Georgia with some big games down the stretch here. Big one this weekend, too.
yeah, dude. How about Malik Neighbors?
That guy is a stud. Just a beast.
He was your top guy for the Broncos to take of that next tier prospects.
Keon
we did
Coleman
the
was
whole
ahead of
episode.
him, but he was right there.
Oh, right.
He is just, I don't know, pretty much
He
the
made
complete
a
package.
strong argument for himself.
Yeah. His ability to track the football, his ability to make that sideline catch. First off, great throw by Jaden Daniels. But how did he get in? I don't know.
That was a perfect throw and catch,
Yep.
and I do not say that lightly. I also thought Dallas Turner looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Dude just moves all over the field. Maybe not a ton of pressure, bless you, Alyssa. But like he's just all over the place. He can drop in coverage. He's just moved so well. And Kool-Aid McKinstry, as explosive as that LSU offense was, Kool-Aid barely got tested.
Man,
An opposite PS2.
but they still have guys just running wide open behind that Alabama defense. I don't understand what's going on with that.
Somewhat. I mean, I don't love the safeties. I think the corner opposite is Armand, who's a redshirt sophomore. He had a clutch interception. He also allowed some tough throws, and some were like pinpoint perfect throws.
That's true.
That even perfect coverage wasn't stopping, But Kool-Aid, I think, did his thing. I don't know, man. That Bama defense showed me a lot in that game.
Yeah, you're a believer.
I'm a believer.
All right. I trust
I
you.
think the second half they put clamps, but it is tough because it's Max Johnson and not Jaden Daniels.
Right.
Anymore.
We were robbed.
But a lot of guys in that Bama LSU game who it's like, yeah, Broncos selected him in the first round. I wouldn't be upset.
True.
J.C. Latham, the right tackle for Alabama, who's a guy who's going to be in that range. He had a monster game. Monster game. His run blocking prowess was on full display. So any other takeaways from Washington, USC, Bama, LSU?
We didn't talk Drake May yet.
Yeah,
we got to get to
about
him.
Drake May. Because how much of this is about Caleb? How much of this is about Drake May when we're talking about the race for QB1?
Look, I like Drake May. I think he does some great things. He is really good at fitting the ball into like tight zones.
Yeah,
like he hits tight windows very easily. It's routine for him.
Yep. Operates really well from the pocket.
Yes, he does.
Pretty athletic, prototypical size.
I just like the plus traits of Caleb more though,
because they're plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
What it boils down to for me, Caleb Williams has a chance to become the best quarterback in the NFL at some point. I don't know if Drake May does.
Right. His ceiling might be more top 6.
Yeah.
Which
it's fine.
Plenty of years we would take the first overall quarterback, and if you guarantee me he's a top 6 guy, would sign in blood.
Yep. But he just, I don't know. I always want more when I watch him. I don't know what more that could be, but it's just like, I see, it's like, I got this other guy who's Superman over here.
He's honestly kind of the prototypical prospect who's not playing for a top 10 team.
That's true.
Right? Where it's
That's
like,
true.
It's so Josh Allen, Mahomesy, where it's like, God, this guy, I just think he could be giving me more. Paxton was like the second half of the season was like, yeah, he's good, but I just feel like at Memphis he should be dominating sometimes and he doesn't. There's just a comfort level with Drake May, man. I think that's all it is.
I mean, he's very poised.
But we are seeing a lot of analysts moving him up to QB1 now.
It's fatigue. I don't know.
It's a guy like Sean Payton thinking we got him exactly where we want him, and now I can trade up to the 3rd pick
and get Caleb Williams. Could you imagine?
Right? Oh that'd be epic.
I hope so.
Maybe if opposing GMs used a Breck beer locator at breckbrew.com and found the most delicious Breck brew near them, they could be talked into something like that, you know?
Yeah, a little Mountain Beach Sour never hurt anyone.
Dude, absolutely. A little Broncos country, a little lager. You know we love Breck Brew. I've been mixing and matching a lot this fall. You know, because I've had family in town, you just get a variety pack, everyone's happy.
Right.
And everyone gives their opinions, lots of, man, Palisade Peach having a moment. And now soon it's Christmas ale time.
I know. I saw it's already
the mini kegs.
Yeah, it's time. We're back.
You ever rocked a mini keg of Breck Christmas ale, Alyssa?
No, but I want to try it.
Yeah, no. We'll make sure we're well stocked at our Christmas party, our Thanksgiving party coming up soon.
Friendsgiving.
Yeah. I'll do. What did I say? Christmas party. Breckenridge Brewery.
We'll
you
have
know
one
them.
of those too.
OG sponsor, OG delicious beer. Find them at the DNVR bar. Check them out, both at the beer locator, but also the farmhouse. Great eats, great beer, great people.
Cool place.
Yeah, it really is. So check them out. That might be my play for Friday night, honestly.
We got to go back. When's the next time DNVR goes back to the farmhouse?
It's a good call. It's a great call out. We better look into that. Check out the beer locator at breckbrew.com. Find a beer near you. Enjoy one. Have one for us, please. Okay, Jake.
Is it time?
It's time, man.
Let's go.
More picks. I feel like we've been doing good on these picks, but no one's tracking them. So how could we even say, honestly?
I feel like we had a solid week last week. I was on LSU. We barely got by on K-State.
I gave out a winning parlay for what it's worth. Bama, Arizona, K-State. K-State, that game was stupid.
That was a wild game.
Yeah, that was
gutsy.
Kind of not fun.
Half comeback. They were down, 17-0 in that game?
Yep, that was good. Shall we start from Michigan, Penn State?
Let's do it.
Right off the bat, no whiteout, 10 a.m. game.
Give me the Wolverines.
-4.5.
Give me them.
As their name is being dragged through the mud.
I love this spot for Michigan. Absolutely love it. People are coming after them for, first off, the sign stealing stuff. Second, oh, they haven't played anyone. When you go back and look at Michigan's schedules, though, from years prior, they're always playing people. This one year that they happen not to schedule anyone non-conference, of course, this is what comes up. I think they're going to make a statement. They're playing the a top 10 team in the country.
Yeah. And a top 10 team that hasn't looked like a top 10 team in a minute now.
I think this is a statement game for them.
Yeah. I kind of think they blow their doors off. I expect J.J. McCarthy to have a big game. Watch Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle on the defensive line. Any other guys you'd want to feature? Who's their star wide receiver? I keep forgetting, but he gets a lot of buzz. Blake Corum,
of course. Donovan
Edwards. That whole O-line's worth watching. And then, I mean...
Talk about Roman Wilson.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
Roman Wilson, be watching him. He's another prospect. On Penn State, tons of athletes on the defensive side. I'm not sure Chop Robinson will be playing, but you got to watch Olu Fashanu, the left tackle on offense. Ida Isaac is the other edge rusher who's really talented. Kalen King, one of the cornerback number 4 for Penn State, one of the top prospects. So you want to watch them. But yeah, just like Tom Izzo, Mark D'Antonio, those were the guys where like, oh, when they're a big dog, that's their spot. Bill Belichick has a dog in the NFL. Look at his record. It's insane. Jim Harbaugh was built for... He's the coach where, like, if I need to play the card of, like, everyone's against us, they're besmirching our name, I'll fucking kill you. He's the one who's going to get it done.
The Connor Stallions redemption game.
The Connor Stallions redemption.
God bless you, Connor Stallions. Godspeed.
It's happening. Godspeed, Connor Stallions, indeed. What a crazy line. So I'm in on that for sure. I kind of think this is a great one. Bama, Kentucky, thinking about our guy, Kentucky UDFA. At Kentucky, Bama -11. Kentucky not the team they were earlier in the season. How about Will Levis, by the way?
Man,
wowzers.
We just talked about quarterbacks for 15, 20 minutes, but...
Sam Howell doing some Sam Howley shit, by the
guy.
way, dude. It's like, whoa, yeah. Like, I knew he had those throws in him.
I mean, good for Will Levis. He's got a big arm. He's been showing it off. But I don't know. I want to see more than 2 games.
Fair enough. Back to Bama at Kentucky. They roll them.
Yeah, I'm going Bama. Man, they looked really nice.
ATS, they cover the 11?
Yes.
Yeah, they roll them. Styles make fights, right, Jake?
Yep.
And this Bama O-line, Jake Miller, they were built to grind and pound a team like Kentucky.
And Devin Leary just hasn't been as good in the SEC as he was for North Carolina State. So
he has not.
Yeah, give me the Tide.
Utah at Washington.
What a
Huskies, 8.5-point favorite. By the way, I think I like the over 45 in Michigan at Penn State.
Oh, yeah. I think Michigan could potentially put up 40 themselves.
The other thing is Penn State's offense, while there's a ton of talent, they're not playing like it, man.
No, I mean,
they're not.
Even the quarterback, Alar. Like,
yeah, he's struggling. He's
not coming into college football and looking like a phenom like he was all projected to be.
Yep, absolutely. Utah goes to Washington. 8.5 for the Huskies. That's too rich.
I think I might still take
it.
Might
like
though.
The Huskies, huh? It is. Talk about clash of styles. I mean, no offense for Utah. And Washington, that defense is concerning a little bit. I mean, it's why I'm moving off of them winning the conference and making the playoffs, which I've got futures on both of those. I'm just not seeing enough, even though Penix is playing really well.
He's playing really well. Those receivers are all very lethal.
Wide receivers are. I mean, Polk, we talk about Odunze. Polk is awesome.
But, I mean, I think we saw, again, it was Arizona State, but Washington can get nasty and win these tight, like, grind them out ball games, I think, still.
Yeah, for sure. Utah's just going to outgrind you.
That is a number, though, that makes me give some pause.
8.5 just feels extremely rich.
I'm still taking it. I don't care.
You intrigued by Miami at FSU? 14 points for the Noles, or you think they roll them and we should skip that?
Oh,
you
man.
Get from a draft standpoint, lots of prospects for FSU. Kitchen's a big one. Safety for Miami, some people's top safety. Leonard Taylor, some people's top defensive tackle. Leonard Taylor, the third, in fact. Very good defensive tackle on the interior for Miami. So that's a good prospect matchup, at least.
I think I'm taking the Canes in this one.
Yeah, it's a rivalry game. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust FSU to win a rivalry game by 14 at this point.
Agreed. Not that anyone asked, but Rutgers +1 at Iowa. I've got them winning that outright.
Ooh, all right. Rutgers is back.
Rutgers is legit back. I think so.
Oh, we were both on that game last week on Rutgers, man. They fought hard, but
We were right the entire time until the final score,
yes.
which sucks. Those are the worst.
I know.
bets. Tennessee at Mizzou. 13 versus 14, and I like me some Mizzou, and yet the Vols are favored on the road, -1.5 Vols.
Is the book telling us something?
The book's telling us something.
So we just take the Vols.
I hate it,
Me too.
but the book's telling us. So
Well-
yeah, we probably should.
Yeah, I'll just take the Vols here. They're not near as good as they were last year. Missouri's been very impressive, though. They fight teams really tough.
Missouri's outstanding. Ole Miss at Georgia. Dogs, 11-point favorites. This one has me twisted like a pretzel.
I think I take Georgia still.
I know. At the end of the day, man, I think they're ripe for the taking. I don't think they're that great. Though I do think they're a smidge more complete than they've been in years past.
Carson Beck looks like a stud almost. Like he is balling.
2025 draft is going to have plenty of quarterbacks if just a couple of these guys return.
He has more passing yards than Jackson Dart actually has. Better completion percentage too.
Yeah, and look, Ole Miss's defense has actually looked pretty frisky. That offense, I don't know how they sustain against this defense. Kiffin kind of shits the bed in these.
Well, and Jackson Dart isn't really
Yeah.
a guy that you, I think, can rely on in these spots against one of, if not the best defense in the country too.
Every fourth play, I'm like, do I like Jackson Dart? Do I want to talk him up on the pod? And then it's like, nah, I guess I'm good. 11's rich.
I'm still taking it.
On principle, you kind of want to take it.
Yeah, it's Georgia.
I'm just like, look, Ole Miss is the sucker side. And I think Georgia loses one of these in the final 3 weeks. I do. This one just...
They got Ole Miss this weekend, Tennessee next weekend, and then the rivalry game against Georgia Tech.
The spot's almost too good.
For Georgia?
For Georgia, yeah. Like, they see this coming. They're not going to overlook this one.
I mean, they've been weathered, though, man. Like, they had some really tough games early in the
schedule's
season.
and who are their final 3 opponents?
Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and the final 2 on the road, too. Interesting. Duke at North Carolina. North Carolina -14. If Riley Leonard plays, we care. If Riley Leonard doesn't play, we don't care. And, college injury reports suck.
I mean, look, we just talked about Drake May, but North Carolina, man, rough loss to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
They were in a
Virginia was
they lost to
even
Virginia
worse
too. They were in a battle against Miami. I don't know if they're 14.5 points better than very much anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll take Duke.
USC at Oregon, last one.
Well, see, now USC finally did it, though. They finally got rid of Alex Grinch, but I still don't know if I trust them defensively.
And plus 15.5. I feel like everyone has the takes, and they might just get them.
USC.
Like Trojans outright.
Wow.
Plus 575.
Yeah, 15 is a lot for the Ducks.
Dude, it's just that we do this every week where it's like, oh, yeah, we thought USC wasn't as good. Then they confirm that. Then they confirm it again 2 weeks in a row. And now we think they're really bad, even though they were still close losses. We've really sold ourselves on Oregon, even though they've had, you've strayed too far from home. USC, Oregon, they're way closer than what this season has shown us thus far. Trojans definitely cover that, and I'm sprinkling that money line.
Love it. People need to lay off on Caleb Williams.
I think so, too.
I mean, the guy literally plays his heart out almost every single weekend, and then he loses because the defense gives up 52 points.
Yeah, it's
what
pretty
else do you
nuts.
want him to do?
It's pretty nuts. That's it, Jake.
That's it, huh?
Unless you have any hot takes for me, that is it.
This CU game, you're high on Arizona right now. They're one of, if not the hottest teams in the country, but just the spot I think the Buffs are in, with it being the last home game, they've been disrespected a lot lately in the media. And you get another week under Pat Shurmur as your play caller. Kind of like the spot for the Buffs.
Feels like a great spot, honestly.
Only 10.5 right now, which is, it's double digits, but it's not nearly as big as a bunch of the other lines we've been seeing for the top teams they've been playing.
Yeah.
And they do play better at home. So I like CU to cover this weekend. Maybe even win outright.
I like it too. I think, Arizona seems too easy. When a team seems too easy, be weary of that opponent. That's the wisdom I leave you with. Thank you, producer Alyssa. Thank you, Jakester. Shout out to our guy, Justin, who missed this one, but I'm sure you'll be back next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. We out.
Later.
We all silly like the mayor.